Hello everyone and welcome to my mobile workbench. I am traveling this week for the Thanksgiving holiday, and being ever diligent, I am bringing you another firearms review. This week I have had access to the Smith & Wesson M&P 9C, so I'm going to be bringing you my review on that. Before we get started, of course, everything is unloaded. There's no ammunition present, nothing in the magazine, well, no ammunition in the chamber. The lighting isn't the same, the audio might be a little different, so I apologize for all that. But anyways, without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring you the review of this firearm. This, of course, is a Smith & Wesson M&P 9C, C being for compact. This gun retails for $569 from Smith & Wesson. You can find it as low as $419 with an average price right around $465 brand new. You can find pretty good deals on these used. With different kits. Some might come with different triggers, extra magazines, etc. So keep your eyes out for those if you're interested in this firearm. This is a semi-automatic striker-fired pistol. It, of course, is compact, as you can see. It is chambered in the 9x19 Luger or 9mm round. Average cost for that ammunition is right around 27 cents a round for the Winchester White Box, and about 79 cents a round for the Hornady Critical Defense FTX rounds. The frame material is polymer. The slide material is a melanite-coated stainless steel. The finish is matte, of course. Weights on this gun, 22.2 ounces unloaded. Magazine 2.5, both together 24.7. Full magazine weighs in at 7.5 ounces. But really the weight that matters is a fully loaded gun with a full magazine plus one, a carry load, and that comes in at 30.2 ounces. The length of this firearm, as measured from the muzzle to the back of the frame here, is 6.63 inches. The height with the extended base plate, as measured from the top of the sights to the bottom of it, come in at 4.94 inches. The width of the slide is 1.13 inches. The width of the grip, with the medium grip installed, 1.25 inches. The widest part of the gun is the slide stop, and that comes in at 1.31 inches. The barrel length is 3.5 inches, and your magazine capacity is 12. However, you'll notice on this magazine it says 10. The reason that is because this is a Massachusetts compliant firearm. Smith & Wesson and other manufacturers make compliant state firearms, and this one happens to be the Massachusetts model. We'll get into kind of what that means as we go on as well. So again, 10 round capacity, but standard capacity is 12 rounds. The trigger weight is 6.5 pounds. The trigger type, of course, is a single action. The sights are no different from the full size. It's a 3-dot drift adjustable front, windage adjustable rear, no elevation adjustments. The sights are made out of steel, they're not polymer. So now we get into another portion of the Massachusetts compliant version of this firearm, and that is the safeties. There is no manual safety on this. However, there is, of course, the Smith & Wesson standard M&P trigger, the broken trigger as I call it. You do have that option for the manual safety, but additionally, this firearm has a magazine disconnect. So, gun, of course, as we've noticed, is unloaded. You pull the trigger, nothing happens. Nothing at all. I insert the magazine, it goes click. So let's talk about intended purpose. Of course, this is a compact pistol. This is intended for concealed carry, personal defense, home defense, but it's going to be concealed, and that's what it was intended and designed for. Any special features on this firearm? Well, of course, you've got your interchangeable palm swells on this, as you do any other full-size Smith & Wesson M&P series pistol, and you also have a 2-position Picatinny rail. Most compact pistols come with just a single position Picatinny rail. This gives you the option of a 2-position Picatinny rail, which might allow for a longer device to be attached up here. Let's talk about options. Direct from the factory, you can get this pistol in a variety of colors. Black, as you see it here, you can get flat dark earth, you can get a carbon fiber overlay, you can get pink, you can get purple, you can get different colors. Other options include different things depending on if it comes from the performance center or not. So there are options, of course, available. You don't have to buy just a box standard. You can make yours stand out. There are many accessories for this firearm, both aftermarket and direct from the factory. You can get some accessories for this from the Performance Center through Smith & Wesson, but of course you can get many aftermarket accessories, whether it be trigger jobs. You can get different barrels for it. You can do different things to the slide, and of course upgraded triggers as well. There are many options for this firearm. Now to get into the reason you kind of watch these videos, and that's my personal take on this gun. As I said in my Shield video, if I had the option between the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield and the M&P 9C, I would opt for the M&P 9C. It's a little thicker in the hand, of course a little bit bigger around, and that to me is more comfortable. Also, you get a 12-round capacity when it's not in compliance model like this, versus a 7 or 8 round capacity in the Shield. Yes, the Shield is a little thinner, but this actually is not much different in terms of overall dimensions, so I would personally go with the 9C, as I said before. Shooting this gun is not bad at all. It's actually very comfortable. It's not a full-size firearm, so you're going to feel a little bit more of the recoil, but ultimately it is a very comfortable gun to shoot. In fact, it's more comfortable than the Shield. If I compare it here to the Smith & Wesson M&P 9, the full size, so as you can see, it is shorter overall, both in grip length and in barrel length. The rear has this kind of beaver tail on it on the full size. It doesn't have that on the compact. The sights are a little different. I have a little bit of a shelf here as an indexing point to rack the slide or whatever it might be on the full size. Do not have that on the compact model. But the cool thing about these, and Smith & Wesson has done a good job, the holster options that I have for the full size actually work for the compact just perfectly fine. It's basically the same frame. This area around the trigger guard is identical, so my holster options, both in the paddle holster or concealed carry holsters, work the same for both of these guns. So I'll go ahead and show you how this firearm breaks down. It's no different from its big brother. Now, because this is a compliance model, it is a little different, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have the option of having a non-compliance model here. So when I take down the full-size M&P 9, to take it down, I simply rotate my lever when the slide's locked back, bring the slide forward, pull the trigger. I can pull everything apart. That's not the case on the 9C. If I run the slide forward after dropping the lever, because the trigger doesn't pull, I either have to use the tool or insert the magazine in order to get the slide off, if I decide to pull the trigger. If I don't decide to pull the trigger, of course, I can use the tool provided to rotate down the sear disconnect, which is this right here. The way, of course, they break down is the same. Recoil springs come out and barrels come out. Now I wanted to take both of these apart on camera for you for two reasons. One, you'll notice the blue ring around the recoil spring here. And you'll notice around this one, it's faded, but I promise you it's there. It's actually yellow. The only reason for that is when these recoil springs, these flat springs, are just sitting in a parts box with other springs, that's how they know the difference between the length of them. So it has nothing to do with the gun that it's in, other than the fact that this is a compact and this is a full size. Another interesting thing about the 9C is that if you have a 12-round magazine, and that is your preferred concealed carry option, or if you have a 10-round magazine like you do here, this is your concealed carry option when it's holstered, that gives you a nice, good purchase in terms of a grip on the firearm. You get your little pinky extension, and it works very well. You could, of course, opt to have the flat base plate, but your pinky might rest on it a little bit, but most likely it's going to be underneath. Now, a two-finger grip on this gun actually is better than a two-finger grip on most other guns because it's a little bit wider. You can change out the palm swell. It's got a better back area here for the webbing of your hand. It just feels much more comfortable in the hand. However, if you have a full 17-round magazine and you're not in a compliant state, the 17-round magazine fits and works perfectly fine in the compact pistol. So if you were carrying the 12-rounder as your carry option and you wanted to carry a backup magazine, you could always carry a full-size 17-round magazine from the full-size firearm. Reassembly is simple, and it is the opposite of disassembly. Your barrel goes in first, then your capture spring, and everything slides onto your frame, and you're good to go. So in closing, this firearm, the Smith & Wesson M&P 9C, is a fantastic choice for a concealed carry option. It has many competitors out there, but I think for the price and for the name brand that you're getting with this firearm, it is really tough to beat. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. Again, I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you all again very soon.